Hello and welcome to the Weekly Blitz. It's a new little thing that I'm going to be doing weekly. Hopefully get her done in about 30-45 minutes, maybe even less. It's just me talking about some stuff that I thought about this week. So, without further ado, I'll just get started. Thing number one, Mike Meliek. Mike Meliek's an actual fucking retard. And the only reason he has any relevance at all is because he blew Logan for it. It's like, oh, I did drugs, I wrote a book, I banged porn stars. It's like, you're a fucking loser. You're 47 years old. You not only dated, but you said you were in love with your porn star girlfriend, who's pregnant, by the way. Which brings me into number two. Ethan Klein from H3H3. That little, you know. Ethan is an actual fucking retard and the biggest hypocrite on YouTube. And no one ever says anything about him. You ever notice that? Him and Trisha can just speak their garbage all the time. And no one says anything. But what really got him on the list, for me, is he called Mike Meliek an alpha. Now, just because Ethan is such a fucking feminized beta does not make Mike Meliek an alpha. Being an alpha has nothing to do with banging porn stars and being 47 years old. Like, it's not cool. It's not difficult to have sex with a woman with no self-esteem. Sorry. Ethan is always talking out of his ass. He never knows what he's talking about, but he'll just lift up his legs, move his little asshole, move his cheeks just to speak. And he gets millions of dollars for it. It's the dumbest shit of all time. And then we go to number three. Logan Paul. He's alright. He's about to fight, what's his name? Taiwan Fury or something. But what got Logan on my list isn't the whole dead forest in Japan thing, because I think that was pretty funny, honestly. It's probably the funniest thing Logan's ever done is film a dead body. But, well, the thing that got him on my list is that he apologized for filming a dead body. The news never apologized for filming a dead body. They showed us George Floyd getting murdered for like a month on the news. No one said anything about it. Nobody apologized for that. Logan has no fucking spine. Like, it took him this long to realize that Mike Meliek was like, and then he talked shit about him, and then he finally X's him off. Hopefully. Because Logan's not an AR like Ethan and Mike, but he is dumb as shit. Which, that's an issue in and of itself, in my opinion. Which brings us to the next thing. Spiders. Why? That's all. That's all about that. Next thing, horses. When I was younger, living back on the old farm, my parents had a horse. Her name was Brownie. And I was just minding my own business one day, and this horse kicked the absolute shit out of me for no reason. So I think all horses should be put down because they're too big, they're too fast, they clearly don't like black people, and they're really, like, what can you honestly, in this day and age, do with a horse that you can't do with something that's not a horse? Exactly. Like, horses, I get it. You used to be able to, like, ride them and go places and shit, but that's really all it is. You know? It's not like, I don't like horses. I'm not scared of horses. I just don't like them. And it's not even because I got kicked. Like, I realize that's, like, a one-time deal that happened to me and everything, but there are probably a bunch of other people who've gotten kicked by horses throughout history and probably didn't go as well as I did. I could have died. Probably. Why don't people eat horses, actually? That kind of pisses... There's no reason to not eat horses. People eat deer. People eat pigs. What's the distinction between not eating horses? I think if we ate them, it'd be better than turning them into glue. Perhaps? I don't know. Speaking of glue, hockey is about the most badass shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never been to a hockey game that I can remember, and I was on the old tube watching some hockey stuff, and it's like these dudes, a lot of them are white, on ice skates, on ice, are just going like 9,073 miles per hour. Wham! 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 And there's no freaking kneeling, there's none of that, none of that homosexual stuff. Just a lot of good old fashioned. I didn't want to have to do this, sorry. That was one of my friends. They said something, and I was going to save this for later on in the day, or later on in the month, or whatever, but I'll just do it. Bacon's not a good food. Bacon doesn't taste good. Bacon doesn't smell good. Bacon isn't like high quality. The only reason people say they like bacon is because the internet tells them to. Bacon's not a good food. I don't know, it comes from a pig. I think it comes from like the pork belly. But it's not, like, ham is better than bacon. Pork chops are better than bacon. Pork ribs are better than bacon. In my opinion, pork ribs are the best meat that you can get. People say, oh, Wagyu, steak, blah, blah, blah. You're wrong. Pork ribs cooked well, like prepared by me, are better than just about anything, to be completely honest. What do you want more when you're sitting down than a nice, beautiful rack of ribs? You don't want bacon. No one goes to a fucking restaurant and orders bacon. They shouldn't have bacon cheeseburgers, to be completely honest, because bacon cheeseburgers, the bacon ruins the rest of the cheeseburger, especially since people tend to overcook their bacon. Crispy bacon should not be a thing. I said it, and I'm not apologizing for it. Crispy bacon tastes like shit, even more than regular bacon does. Bacon should be chewy, little elastic, nice and just lightly brown. Just a little kiss of brown. You don't need it all black and fucking curled into a mangled mess. That's gross. Why would anybody eat? My dogs won't even eat that shit. My dogs will literally eat shit. You understand? But they won't eat bacon. You know? You know? You know? I'm just saying. Bacon's such a shit food. Like, I honestly don't understand how it became like, oh, bacon, bacon. Besides those, that fat guy on YouTube that ate stuff. Harley, I think was his name. Harley Morgenstein on Epic Mealtime. He's like, bacon and bacon and bacon. And it's like, it's whatever. Like, get your bag. Like, good for him and whatnot. Epic Mealtime was super successful. But bacon's disgusting. And that's all I got to say about that. Next thing. Have you seen Invincible on Netflix? I'm sure you have. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, probably. But what's important about that is that the Viltrumites in Invincible are no different than the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z. They're basically the same thing. Now, hear me out. Viltrumites, they have they're aliens, and they're like the strongest things in their universe. Just as the Saiyans. They're the strongest race in their universe. Viltrumites, they go to planets and they conquer them for Viltrum. Saiyans, they go to planets and they conquer them for Lord Frieza. Okay? Let's take it even a step in closer. Omni-Man comes to Earth and he's supposed to take over. Goku gets sent to Earth. He's supposed to take over. Omni-Man has a son, Invincible, or whatever the fuck his name is, who becomes the main character. Goku has a son, Gohan, who's the biggest disappointment in anime. Goku, Omni-Man, both supposed to destroy Earth. Neither of them do. Both of them end up having a wife, falling in love, and defending the Earth against those that they had previously worked for. Tell me how Invincible is any different than Dragon Ball Z. It's not. However, it is a good show, though. I'll watch that shit. I like it. Amber and Invincible, though, I don't like her. I don't know why they had to make the only black character, like the only prominent female black character, such a fucking cunt. It's like, if she knew that Mark was you-know-who, then why? You know what I mean? Like, no, it's so unrealistic, or she's just fucking stupid. Now, brings me to the controversial, I guess, part of the list. And before I go here, I have to give the obligatory, I don't, like, if you want to be gay, good for you. I literally don't give a shit. That's awesome. That's what makes you happy. If that's how you're wired, like, good on you. I hope you're happy. You know what I mean? If you want to be trans and you're an adult, hey, good for you. Like, live your best life. I support that. If you want to fucking hack your nuts off, implant some tits, put some dragon fucking horns on your head, and jerk off a cow, you know what? This is America. You have the right to as an adult. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Honestly, you should be able to. However, fuck Pride Month. Number one, because Black History Month is February, which is 28 or 29 days, mind you, in the fucking worst month of the goddamn year, while June is probably the best month of the entire fucking year. And all these corporations who are outsourcing their labor to countries that throw gay people off of buildings, that have literal fucking slaves like in China, who everyone's taking money for, they're like, oh, we support Pride. Like, no the fuck you don't. What really pisses me off is that you, the people, us, as Americans, are so fucking stupid and don't pay any attention that we think, oh yeah, we believe this. They support blah, blah, blah. Like, no corporation supports any fucking cause. You're full of shit and stupid if you believe otherwise. Like Nike. We'll say Nike. Nike has their little just do it in rainbow. Nike? You know where their shoes are made? By little yellow slaves who don't have freedom. They work like 97 hours a day or whatever, and they don't get paid. They're literal fucking slave labor. Why is it that we still have this actual slavery going on in this world in numbers way higher than at any point in history, but we still want to talk about, oh, America. Like, no, dude. China is currently doing a fucking genocide. What are we missing here? George Floyd got his neck knelt on for like 6 minutes. The fucking world loses it. A couple million fucking Muslims die and no one gives a shit? What's the disconnect? I'm just saying. The last time there was a big kerfuffle with race that happened to be, it was the Jews last, like the last commonly known big one was the Holocaust. But that wasn't the last, and everyone always talks about how bad the Holocaust was, which it is. It's terrible. But what about, like, the Armenian genocide? The Uyghur genocide? All of the massacres that happen in Africa and whatnot. Like, who is it that decides what we care about? And, like, who honestly gives a shit? That's what I want to know. Fuck everything else I said. Here's my real question. For you Black Lives Matter people that have ever fucking called me an Uncle Tom and can't even fucking read and ever read the book because you're a stupid fucking ape. When the whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening, right? And we were like, oh, we can make a change, blah, 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 blah. Do you know there are still sundown counties in the United States of America? Does anybody know that? You know what Sundown County is? I didn't know. Sundown County is where black people are not allowed to be outside after sundown, or bad things can happen to them. In 2021, there are still sundown counties. You know how Black Lives Matter had the entire, attention of the world, the entire world? Guess what we did with that? Not we, because I'm not part of that. But guess what happened with that, right? We elected Biden. An actual fucking racist. And that's another fucking thing. People think, oh, there's a liberal in the government. Guess who killed Martin Luther King Jr.? The fucking CIA did. Guess who killed John F. Kennedy? The goddamn CIA did. Lyndon B. Johnson. Maybe the problem is that 51% of black people can't fucking read or write. Maybe that's the issue. And maybe if we start addressing that issue, then we could finally climb forward as a fucking people in society. Ooh, yeah, wow, yeah, wow. And people are going to say I'm self-hating. No, I fucking love myself. Black, white, purple, brown, pink. Meliek fucking Myers is shit. Sorry. I am. I love myself, and I'm fucking awesome. I'm not the fucking 51%. I can read and write. I can read very well. And I can write decently. But it's like every time a nigga has a different opinion than another nigga, it's like, oh, he's bad, blah, 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 blah. It's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, pork chops. When was the last time anybody had a pork chop? Exactly. I haven't had a pork chop in legitimately 5 years, probably. A pork chop is better than bacon. Short ribs, Korean-style short ribs, are probably the best cut of meat you can have. Honestly. God, I'm still pissed off about fucking Black Lives Matter, so I'm going to go back to that. Let me just throw out a couple things. Besides heart disease and shit, the thing that's most likely to kill a black American male is another black American male. And people say stupid shit like, a white person is more likely to be killed by a white person. Not even close to the same, when you talk about, the rate of death of white people, a high percentage isn't other white people being fucking ignorant and shooting each other. That's almost 100% stuck to just black people. So, also, another one, a black baby is more likely to be aborted than born. Which is insane. And then oh, okay. I love every race and whatever and blibbity blah. But like, you ever see this Stop the Asian Hate shit? Which is like, I'll get into that another day. But it's like, who are the people doing these Asian hate crimes? Go on Facebook and look at any of them. Look at any of the suspects for any of the freaking Asian hate shit. It's a fucking black person. 100% of the goddamn time. Why does the news never talk about that? Why does the news never bring that up? I have a freaking cousin-in-law, I guess. A cousin-in-law who's Asian. And that dude, I would fucking kill for that guy. I fucking love that guy. And he happens to be Asian. He's not like the bad kind or anything, but, you know, he's from South Korea. But I love that dude. But it's like, why? What is it? Was it the whole China virus thing? Are we going to say that is the cause of that? That because Trump said China virus, that's why black people started attacking Asians? Because I don't think that's the reason. And yes, I'm saying black people is like a large group, but you know what I mean. I don't mean all black people. And honestly, before this even gets to an end, like, you will be wasting your time attempting to change my opinion about anything that I've said. So, just before you feel the need to post a comment or to share this with someone in the hopes that, like, something bad will happen to me in my personal life. Okay. It's not worth your time. You're not going to get the satisfaction that you want out of that. Just for anything I ever say in the future. Like, I don't have a Twitter. I'm already married. And, like, you can't get me fired from my job. And if you did, I'd get another one. So, I'm telling you, if you get offended or don't like anything that I say in any video I ever make, here's what you do, okay? You take a nice deep breath. You breathe out. You look to your left. You look to your right. You look straight forward, and you go fuck yourself. Because I don't care. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking 25-year-old guy who probably has high-functioning autism. If I'm offending you by anything that I say, am I? Oh, thank you. That's cute. But anyway, what else do I think that's all I got. I got a lot of stuff out there. You know? I got a lot of stuff out there. This was number 1 of the Weekly Blitz. You know? We'll be back next week. Might be better, might be worse, might say something crazy, might not say something crazy. But hey, you stay motivated.